Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So Blastmaster Kulu got released on the VN server and she actually got a buff to her ultimate skill by getting 300 initial energy and having the rest of her kit remain the same from the Pioneer server side. So I do think that this is a good buff for her, but it still won't change largely how she fares because this ultimate right here definitely made her better, giving her the ability to start off the first ultimate, and then because she's an AoE damage dealer, based off the numbers of units she's able to hit with her ultimate, she will be able to charge up her energy more quickly, resulting in faster subsequent ultimates for a whole bunch of damage. So this buff definitely made her really powerful. And so with this change, what I feel about it is based on my previous testing on the Pioneer server, right now as you guys can see right here, this is the unbuffed version for Kulu, right? I feel that Kulu is actually a viable carry for the AFK stages, right? If you have good physical units to combo with her, and I think in general being able to start her ultimate and then subsequently cycle through the skills so that you can bombard a lot of enemies at the same time is actually something that's amazing. So we're going to showcase this team over here and also talk about, you know, how this increase in energy allows our Kulu to become better. Okay, so this is Kulu without any energy at the start of battle, right? We have Rowan here to accelerate towards her first ultimate. So if she did have her 300 energy, she would have been able to actually drop her ultimate and do a whole bunch of damage together with the Hodgkin ultimate that dealt this physical defense down on the opponent's side. So the ability, right, to actually spam your ultimate is pretty insane. Although she didn't get that additional energy based off the enemy's hit like Hodgkin skill over here, but being able to start the ultimate faster allows her to also cycle through her skills and then be this really powerful damage dealer right here. But the thing is, in the grand scheme of things, I think right now physical teams in general, at least on the AFK stage side, they are not the most prominent. There's not as many good physical units that you want to pair her with. So in general, definitely a point that we can consider as a physical AoE damage dealer, but probably not so much in the current meta, right? Although she did get this range artifact that is the Elderbow spell that enhances range units damage output, but I think Shamira in general on the PV side is really dominant as the damage dealer across all the different bosses as well. So far I think based off the different records that we have, yeah, let's take a look at some of the shared records. Okay, so there's actually a Kulu right here. Okay, we take a look at this damage distribution. Like against Plague Creeper, Kulu's damage output is as such. Like I think Plague Creeper is definitely one of the better bosses that Kulu can perform against because of the AoE nature, and you can see that the damage output doesn't even outskill Hara on this boss fight. So it's not going to outskill Shamira as well because Shamira hits really hard. And then if we were to go into, for example, Talessa, right? So let's see whether or not I have some runs over here on my own account. Okay, so Talessa. Okay, I did actually try Kulu. Oh, I did a run with Kulu over here. Okay, so as you guys can see, against the likes of Shamira, against the likes of Bonnie, Kulu doesn't perform that well. And Bonnie ain't even like the strongest damage dealer in the Dream Realm side. So that's one thing for you guys to ponder right here. And then over here, I think I also did a run for Kulu for Plague Creeper. So this is Kulu with Idris right here, even worse than Idris. And Idris is not even seeing that much use for the higher ranks itself so far. So we shall see how it goes. So this is Talin versus Kulu in the Plague Creeper side. So yeah, like even Talin's damage output, who is not so optimal, beats Kulu. So in terms of the Dream Realm side, I don't think Kulu is going to make any impact. The only boss which I think Kulu might be okay would be our Necro Dragon right here. So Necro Dragon requires a unit to have certain mobility to dodge the Crest ability, for those of you guys who forgot about this boss. So being able to bounce around, being able to jump from left to right will give you that ability to move and negate this Abyss Crest right here. So this combined with all the physical teams that could actually work with Necro Dragon, such as your Sinbad and your Sonya combination, could actually make her viable here. But we're not going to test it here because this is the pre-buff version, so we can't actually show her full potential here. But that is her performance for the Dream Realm side, at least based on the initial testing itself. And moving to the PvP side, I think she definitely became a way better character. Like I think there are certain matchups where you want to get off her ultimate ASAP, and with this change it's definitely a lot faster, right? But Kulu, based on what I observed so far, is without that initial ultimate or that initial energy, she wasn't able to get off her ultimate as consistently or as quickly. So that change definitely made her better, but I also think that that 300 initial energy is not fast enough. like you need to be fast, but you need to be fast enough to match the meta, because there's actually a certain pacing in terms of how fast the units get off their skill, right, in terms of the current performance. So right here, let's take on Jerry's. Okay, so the thing about Kulu is, number one, obviously dealing damage, and number two, being elusive. But if you talk about how fast the meta is, we got to bench it to like some of the fastest unit, like for example Atalia. So in this case, even if you have this energy regen right here, even if you do get off the ultimate, you're still not able to get it off because Dahlia will block off your ultimate. And this is where the initial energy is not going to make too much of a difference. However, there could be this possibility that your Kulu is able to survive and then use the ultimate after Hodgkin launches his ultimate, and then we might be able to win this fight. So I think that 300 energy is going to give you that what if you have this and you get it off faster and then you win the match. But in terms of the grand scheme of team building, Kulu is still largely a unit you build as a tech carry or a tech option to be more effective against certain team setups, to give you more defensive protection for your range teams in general, or just be slot into a physical team as a massive AoE damage dealer. So I think the role of Kulu is still pretty much the same, more PvP centric. The initial energy makes her a lot better on the PvP side, but generally doesn't change the grand scheme of things, and I think she will still be a unit that probably those with the resources and want to focus on the PvP side will want to go for her. So that's it, just a simple PSA on her, as well as all the different observations I have. And thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.